Excuse me. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, a classic, last known classic. It's episode number 2424 and double number 2318. Now, these two trades, first of which is Wonder Woman, the other, of course, is another series. Both these two books in the comic, that both have Gail Simone as a writer at one point. This one, the past, not this current, this is very, very recent. The other one, she did write it. First thing we have is Wonder Woman by Becko and Michael W.S. Conrad, Volume 4, Revenge of the Gods. This book collects issues 795 to 800 of the series. The artwork is done here, done by Amake Nalpin, Athena Martinez, Megan Kittrick, Julie Jones, Terry Dodson, and his wife is not the colorist here for some reason. She's not listed here. Cully Hammer, Pula Gozio, Jed Barnell, Howard Ferreira, Nick Robes, Todd Nennick, and Skylar Podrich. The cover art is done by Rogers. Yeah, the whole thing with these issues now, here's the strange thing though, about these 6 issues, is that we actually have the miniseries Revenge of the Gods, Revenge of the Gods. They basically take place between each of these issues. I would have thought, though, DC would put this in the same trade. They didn't. I do not know why this was not put in trade. It just was not. I do not know why. Yeah, and if you're really curious, though, did they decide to put this particular mini-series in a separate trade? Yes, they did, and it comes out on Halloween this month. Yes, which does collect also the 2 of the issues from this very series. Yeah, I am baffled by that. Like, why the heck would you release this trade before you release the main mini-series? That makes no sense at all. Yep, but here's the thing with these issues. Hera goes to war with humanity, and Wonder Woman is trying to fight her throughout these 6 issues. Yep, that's literally the plot of these issues. By the way, 595 is For the Storm Part 2. And she teams up here with, of course, the current Wonder Girl, Yetta 4. Yep, teams with her for this issue, for this storyline. You have Eros here. Actually, it's more like Cupid. And at one point, everyone's going like love crazy. So at one point, Cheetah kisses Ida Candy. Yes, for some reason, Becky Cohen outed Cheetah as bisexual. Inadvertently, for some reason. I'm not sure why. So, Cupid, they take him on here for the opening issue of this trade. Actually, more like the first couple issues. Yeah, because that deals the whole range of... Like, here it is. Here's Ida Candy. And everyone's going love crazy. And then we have Cheetah giving a kiss to Ida Candy. I'm like, what? Barb, what are you doing? And she's like so into that. Like, either she's teasing her, but oh no. And then we have Wonder versus Eros. Yep. And it's a really good story arc here. Oh yeah, by the way, Hera kills Zeus. Yes, she murders Zeus. And then it's announced that apparently the murderer is not her. Oh no. It's the Wizard Shazam! What? Yes, seriously. Yeah, Shazam murdered Zeus. Do not know why. And then we have next door, The Reckoning. Yeah, before the story was actually from 794 to basically this is 797. Yeah, it's kind of weird the fact that we have the 3 parts. We have this Reckoning. We deal with the Fates in here. It's an interesting story for what it is. And then basically, it's like, it keeps saying, Orchid's here in Lazarus Revenge of the God number 2, which is not in this trade. Not here. Like, you read this trade, like, why are we telling you 3 issues that are not in this trade? Which makes no freaking sense at all. If I were DC, put the damn miniseries in the trade. Why the heck would you not include it in here? Oh yeah, by the way, Wonder Woman starts working with Ares. Oh boy, Ares. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing about Ares. It feels as though this guy, in the last decade, apparently DC does not know how to write him properly. Like, first he's an old man who's Wonder Woman's mentor, and then that was retcon where it was a dream that he becomes a prisoner of Themyscira, and now here he's free? Oh yeah, by the way, Wonder Woman actually murders Ares. Yep. Here he's young. Yeah, I'm like, what is up with DC? How, and basically them, any writer comes to Wonder Woman keeps changing the Greek gods for no reason. I mean, this has been a common thing with Wonder Woman for the past decade. The Greek gods, they keep changing their minds. Also, here's the thing. Hera had this thing where at one point... Now, weird thing is, if anybody's ever read Brian Azzarello's run, with the exception of Apollo, the Greek gods have this strange thing of walking around butt naked. For no reason. Heck, the only person besides Apollo who actually bought any clothes was Hera. And Hera was a supporting character in the book. But everybody else? Oh no! Let's basically walk around in our birthday suits for no reason. That could be Clifford Chang basically doing... If I get a chance, Brian Azzarello, that like, why in the world did you have it during your run where the Greek gods walk around with their butt naked? Yes, I admit Brian Azzarello. And I do like some of his work, but not all of it. I do enjoy some of his really... There's a lot of really good stuff for him. And I did tell him this, that he appreciated this. The fact that David was a big fan of his and Cliff Chang's around Wonder Woman. And he's like, he has good taste. That's what he told me. So yeah, then of course we have Wonder Woman with Cheetah. Which I actually like that. I like the fact she's wearing clothes because... Oh yeah, let's go war with Hera in this next few issues. Oh yeah, and then she works with Mary Marvel, who ends up giving her powers to Wonder Woman, who becomes a goddess even though she not want this at all. Oh yeah, and one thing I do appreciate about Becky Cohen, she still keeps the fact that Steve Trevor is in love with Wonder Woman. Where he was pointed out by, I think, this I thought was really weird. They kind of changed the name of Wonder Woman's patron god. So I think it was. And we have Eda Candy here. And here she is with the cheetah. Well, at least with another woman. Yep. Eda Candy in this book has been outed as a lesbian. Yeah, where she's back being chunky again. Yes. Even though she's black. Now, here's the thing about her that changed her skin color. That was something Brian Azzarello did. Actually, it was in person. That for some reason, DC, from the period about 2011 to 2016, had this weird fascination by having characters change skin color for no reason. Like, Wally West becoming black, and then that was later retconned where, and this is really weird, where they retconned that Wally West was actually the real Wally West. They're called by simply Wallace, not Wally. This is what I think at first it's called Wally, where he was like black, and then he brought back the real one. And there's cousins, and they both happen to be the nephew of Iris West. And here's something also interesting though. Richard Dragon. Yeah, we're like, oh, he's black now. Except that it was pointed out by the very same writer, that's not Richard Dragon. He's supposedly dead, and his real name is Rico Draz. Or here's one, Helena Bertinelli, a woman who was Italian, makes her New 52 debut in the final issue of Nightwing, where she's black, and I guess for some reason people mistake her for... I heard one person did this, where people thought she was Misty Knight. You know, with the curly hair, the fact she had her shirt open, she looked like Misty Knight. And then, this was really weird. Like, when they wrapped up the Grayson book, they changed skin color again to her actual skin color, because she's Italian, not black. Eda Candy, they made her black, and they made her thin. because it's been established since the Golden Age that she's been kind of chunky. Okay, they have her back being chunky. Fine. Also, for some reason, for the New Earth continuity, she was a love interest with Steve Trevor, and Wonder Woman went through several different boyfriends. And for some reason, he did not want to have these two be an item for some reason. I do not know why. It's just kind of weird reading it. Where it's like they don't want it at all, and then New 52 starts up, and they reestablish the fact Steve Trevor has things for Wonder Woman. And you know the strange thing was? Brian Azzarello and Meredith Finch never featured him in that entire volume. It took until Greg Rucka for the relaunch book for DC Rebirth to finally feature him in Wonder Woman, because it's like he's featured in Justice League, it's like he's featured everywhere else but the Wonder Woman book. It's like DC wanted to keep him away from this book for some reason. And now he's back in the book now. Yeah, Greg Rucka basically kind of been back in the book, which, thank you, Rucka, for doing that. And this, I think, is a little weird. Now, it's fine. The fact, then we have sort of a nod to the Golden Age. We have the chunky Eda Candy and Black, but then we have Wonder Woman in her Golden Age attire. Yep, and this lasts for a few pages. And we have Cheetah. That's not Barbara Morse. Oh no, that's the original Cheetah from the 40s. A character appeared a few times and got killed by Barbara Morse during Jeff Johns' run when Jeff Johns won issue Wonder Woman. Yep. Yeah, then we cut this other artwork as a nod to when she was fighting Steve from Norse Mythology, which is interesting. And then we have Terry Dotson do World War II stuff, which is so awesome. Thank you, Terry Dotson, for doing that. And then we have this weird artwork here. Looks very looks like a young Diana Themyscira. Yeah, and then we have the current queen of Themyscira. Now, here's the thing about Themyscira. By the way, this issue is called Whatever Happens to Warrior Truth. Okay, this title for this story arc is a nod to the classic Alan Moore story, Whatever Happened to Man of Tomorrow. Neil Gaiman did something very similar to this in a story called Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader. It's a quick 2-part story. By the way, here's a variant cover by Brian Ballard, which, yeah, this guy has been a Wonder Woman armorist before. As a matter of fact, he drew a lot of Wonder Woman Volume 2's covers. Like, I think he was the artist when William S. Lowe's was the writer of the book. And he was basically the cover artist, and I think occasionally he was the interior artist. Yes. And then we have Yara Farr here. We have Donna Troy here in her Troy attire. Yes, her Troy attire. And then we have Cassie Sandmark in her pre-Flashpoint look. I'm sure Tivia basically be happy to see that. Like, oh, by the way, here's the strange thing about these two. Okay, now, her mother, both pre and post Flashpoint, is still Helen. Still the same. Her father they changed that because in pre-Flashpoint, it was Zeus. And then for some reason, they changed the whole thing of, like, Zeus being their father to being Wonder Woman's father. Because because Wonder Woman, the whole thing of, like, oh, she's made of clay. In this continuity, it was a lie. They gave that origin story to Donna Troy for some reason. I have no idea why. So, Wonder Woman's father is Zeus, but who's Cassandra's father? Her brother! You see, and this is pointed out, though, by someone else who's also called Cassandra. Because, according to her, her brother named her niece after her. I'm not kidding about that. Read Greg Pak's issues for Teen Titans. I think it was Volume 5, I think it was. Yeah, it was the relaunch of Lobdell's run. This is actually the penultimate storyline just prior to the DC, before it got relaunched on DC with Ben Percy. Yeah, that's what they established that. Then we have Wonder Woman and Cassandra fighting Darkseid, and then we have Looks like Wonder Woman fighting, working with saving Artemis. And by the way, the outfit Artemis is wearing, that's not a pre-Flashpoint look. Oh no, that's her look from Red Hood and the Outlaws Volume 2. And then we, for some reason, cut to the death of the Waynes because Batman's here. And Wonder Woman's back in her Rebirth attire. Which, here's the thing about this. Did you know she's still wearing that? After 6 years, she's still wearing that. Yep. Yes, she is. And then we have where Bruce basically goes off there. And it's a real, and we have her meeting up with Superman, which is so fun. Yeah. Like so much beauty. And like, oh no, is Wonder Woman going to kiss Superman? Nope. That does not happen. They're just really good friends. And then, of course, Wonder Woman finally wakes up. And then, of course, they kind of wrap up this storyline with this particular issue. Yep. And what happened next with the relaunch? Amazons are outlawed, and Wonder Woman's a fugitive from the law. Yep. Yep. But this storyline in particular, it's interesting at best. Though I think it's kind of weird that Eda Candy now is basically bisexual. Yeah, I don't really know exactly why. It's just kind of weird when it comes to that. Alright, so next up we have is an actual Gail Simone book. It's a book previously written by her with Wonder Woman. This one was written by her. This is The Movement, a short-lived comic book from I think it was like 2013 to 2014. She did this around the same time I think she had already wrapped up her I think she was wrapping up her Batgirl around this point in time, and I believe she had just started on Secret 6 when this book was starting up. It only lasted for a year. I remember there was a theory, the one guy I hadn't watched in a long time because he put out a video in a long time, the Blue Goblin, he had theorized that the reason why DC axed this book, and you might think this is so silly, but he thought this was true. The reason why DC axed this book was because we had no appearance by Batman for 12 issues. Yes, because he has a strange theory where if DC cancels a comic book, it's only because Batman did not make an appearance in the book. Yes, he has his crazy theory. It has been a theory for years. I don't know if I would subscribe to that, but that's basically what he thinks. The Movement is comprised now. But by the way, we have Freddie Williams II on the artwork here. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting though. The Movement himself was basically like a very short-lived comic. Don't think the book was bad. Nope. Oh, and here's the strange thing about this book. Did you know this book was launched at the same time as another book called Green Team Trillionaires? And here's the strange fun fact about that book. Did you know that when the book came out, that was the next... It has a guest appearance by Deathstroke, and that was his first appearance since the end of his solo book? No, seriously. So, The Movement is comprised of these people. They also call Channel M. Burden, Mouse, Prince of Rats, Tremor, and Virtue. Catharis was a character in Gail Simone's Batgirl book. Yep. Yeah, she was a recurring character in Batgirl, and, well, then she appeared in this book. Okay, the final issue of Batgirl book was released in August 2014. The first issue of this book was released in July 2013. Basically about, I think it was May. So about a year. Yeah. So mostly put, basically, it's in a place called Coral City, which only exists in this one book. Yeah, and the Movement is basically... The whole thing with this book is basically fighting against corruption. And sadly put, this will be the only appearance by the city itself in this one book. Would have been interesting. Now, as for the other characters, Burden, Mouse, Tremor, and Virtue, they're original characters in this book. Yeah, and then we have this recurring foe in this book called the Corona Killer. Karina Killer. Yeah, and he basically is here for 3, 5, and 6. Yeah, he's not the big character start. Then basically, once the second arc goes on, this first arc is called Class Warfare. That's what this is called. Most of the people were establishing a team with the first issue, and you might be curious though. Do they actually add people to the group when the book started? Not really. They have a character called Vengeance Moth. Yeah, and she made her debut in the second issue. Yeah, then we have where the debut of a character named James Cannon, who's like a corrupt businessman. Yeah, and by the way, he's actually the father of the serial killer. So we have a character called Rainmaker up here. Rainmaker, believe it or not, made her first appearance in issue 3, and she's a Jim Lee character. Yes. Yeah, she was a character from Gen 13. Yes, and for some reason, they made her a recurring character in this book. Yeah, and she's here for 2 through 4, 8 and 11. She also popped up for an issue of Supergirl, the final issue of Gail Simone's Batgirl, and like 2 one-shots. One is DC's Grifter got rid of by a reindeer one-shot. No, seriously. They actually was a one-shot this just like late last year. Yeah, and that was the most recent appearance date, sadly. I mean, is anybody else popping in this book besides, of course, Rainmaker? Well, they had one point in this book where one of the members tried to leave, and then of course we have... Now, does any members actually die when this book's over with? No. Almost every much alive. And we also have issue 5 where it's a homage to the old World War I post-war Uncle Sam. And then we have sort of a replacement villain group called the Graveyard Faction, comprised of the serial killer, Terry Cannon, Paulus, who thinks he's a god, Anguish, Arson, and Monster Baby. Yeah, who's a woman who basically thinks she's a scarecrow. Yeah, and she's pretty much like a recurring villain. It's like they start her off here for the first couple issues of this book here, for issues 5 and 6, and it becomes a regular character in the very next story arc. I mean, aside from Rainmaker, is there any like familiar character in this book? Well, we'll find out as time goes forward. It's definitely a good book per se. It keeps you interested. At least Gail Simone basically is good, keep you interested. But we sadly have one more trade left to go, and then that's it. Yeah, and by the way, the purple hair girl. Shoot, that's not what I want there. So let me basically point out who character is which. Now, Burden is the guy with the red hood. Yep, that's Burden. I believe Virtue is the black woman, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Yeah, Virtue's the black woman. Carterus, she is the pink-haired girl who actually was the character from Batgirl. Mouse is not on the cover here. Tremor, who is actually this one right here. That's Tremor right there, one next to Virtue. Okay, and you think, okay, who else is here? Well, there's also Vengeance Moth. Vengeance Moth is the girl with the blonde hair. Yeah, and that should remember for you. Yeah, so I found this book to be quite interesting, and I can't wait to discuss the very next trade, which will be the end of the series, sadly. And here's the strange thing, though. Did you know of the New 52 trades that have more than one volume left? The one more volume released? There's actually one of 5 left. You're thinking, really? 5 left? Are you saying you almost finished the review in the New 52? Yes. Indeed I have. Almost finished reviewing it. Yep. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. The one more trade, I also give it a 9 out of 10. Okay, so that's the episode of you. Next up is basically more Kamen Rider. Okay, next video. Bye.